a giant ribbon cutting and a giant step forward in central Illinois transportation, flying high with CMI. Plus, fun in the sun, catch a retro wave at the opening of Clinton Lake. All that, an on-air surprise for beloved newsman Dave Shaw. And a 50th anniversary takes flight in Rantoul. The film from Chanute, next from the Vault.
The stories that made news and made history. The places that matter to us. And the people who make Central Illinois home. Join us from the Vault.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt Metcalf. Thanks for joining us. Willard Airport in Champaign County is one of 10 commercial airports in the state of Illinois, but it's one of only 2 in the country that's run by a university. 1989 saw an expansion and brand new design for CMI. Reporter Wynn Smiley takes us to Savoy for the dedication.
When you first walk inside, it's hard to believe this is Willard Airport. The new 62,000 square foot terminal is 3 times larger and 1,000 times better than what Willard passengers are used to.
I don't think many of us could have been as optimistic to dream a few years ago that we might be standing here today in this setting.
A Boeing 727 ceremoniously taxied through the opening ribbon. Passengers can now enjoy jetways, improved baggage handling, and other typical airport amenities. The niece of former U of I president Arthur Willard said her uncle would be amazed at what's happened to the airport he started.
I'm trying not to think about it too much because I'd choke up. But he would be so amazed. But he had this dream that aviation was the coming thing and the university should be involved in that. And that's where it all started.
Today's dedication was hoped to be the beginning of tremendous air travel expansion in central Illinois. But since ground was broken 2 years ago, Chanute Air Force Base became targeted for closure, and TWA announced it's ending all jet service here. Both events have increased pressure on airport officials.
If anything, we'll work harder to attract more jet service.
The terminal will open for business October 8th and be prepared to accommodate nearly 500,000 passengers a year by 1995. Officials hope jet service will expand and more people will fly out of Willard. But more passengers may have to come first before major carriers consider stopping at Champaign-Urbana's newest gateway. Wynn Smiley, Channel 3 News, Champaign County.
CMI formerly housed the Institute of Aviation, which today is a part of Parkland College. While planes took to the skies decades before Willard in northern Champaign County, the Chanute Airfield opened a century ago in 1917. The base was a fixture for years and was home to the first all-black fighter squadron, the Tuskegee Airmen. WCIA's Don McMullen covered the base's 50th anniversary in 1967.
Chanute Field, August 1917, built in 90 days at a cost of $1 million. On May 21, 1917, the government had selected Rantoul, Illinois as the site of a new airfield to train pilots for the war in Europe. The field was named for Octave Chanute, an early aviation pioneer. Each year, more than 25,000 Air Force men pass through its gates to attend special schools. In 50 years, Chanute has trained more than 1 million men. It is a key link in the Air Training Command, a schooling system which the Air Force describes as the biggest in the world. These are the men of Chanute Air Force Base on parade, more than 5,000 strong. This week, Chanute is celebrating its 50th anniversary, a milestone in Air Force history. Over the past half-century, what once were Illinois cornfields have been transformed into a first-rank military installation worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Each year, Chanute trains more than 25,000 men to play important supporting roles in our nation's air defense system. Among them, missile specialists responsible for the maintenance and operation of the Minuteman and Hound Dog missiles. Aircraft maintenance men who keep the giant B-52 bomber in the air. weather observers and forecasters for Air Force installations around the world, and specialists trained in the hazardous task of firefighting. Over the years, Chanute has become one of Central Illinois' biggest industries, as well as an important community in itself. The payroll numbers some 15,000, including civilian employees. Each year, Chanute adds more than $80 million to the area economy.
The base closed in 1993 as the government consolidated military bases in connection with the Base Realignment and Closure Act, what was known later as BRAC. Well, a new destination draws thousands of people to the waters in central Illinois. That's still ahead. But next, the story and the secret of a Civil War soldier.
From the Vault, celebrating the rich heritage of Central Illinois. Sponsored by Sunset Funeral Homes. Remember, celebrate, heal.
Welcome back. A local historic site celebrates a unique Civil War soldier. He has a story and a secret. Betty Phillip takes us to Livingston County from the Vault.
On October 10th, 1915, Albert D.J. Cashier in full uniform was laid to rest in Sonneman's Sunny Slope Cemetery, located at the west edge of Sonneman, south along Illinois 116. The tombstone reveals nothing of the secret of the person buried beneath. This 19-year-old Irish-born immigrant farm worker who came to the U.S. as a stowaway never became one of the great figures of the Civil War, maybe because his company, the 95th, was referred to by many of its members as the woman's outfit. Perhaps this was apropos for Albert D.J. Cashier, because in 1910 it was publicly revealed that the old crippled man residing at the Old Soldiers and Sailors Home in Quincy, Illinois, was in actuality Jenny Hodges, a woman. No one knows why Jenny took the name of Cashier. There were rumors that she had entered the war because her lover had been killed in battle. Others say she joined for the bounty and kept her disguise in order to receive a veteran's pension.
After the war ended and Cashier, or Jenny's, services were no longer required, he moved to Sonneman, a small town in Livingston County. There he worked as a sheep herder on the Joshua Chesebro farm and took his meals with the Courting family. Bert Courting, who was then 10 and still to this day resides in Sonneman, recalls that Cashier was very untrusting and often secured the door with 3 to 4 locks.
A few people knew Jenny's secret long before it was publicly revealed. These secret sharers included a state senator whose auto struck him, requiring an examination by a physician. Both the senator and the physician promised to keep his secret. When Albert was admitted to the Soldiers and Sailors Home, the superintendent also knew and kept the secret. It would seem evident that many people who had to tend him in the home knew the secret, but perhaps out of sympathy also kept their own counsel. This is Albert's home. Perhaps if this little house could talk, it would reveal why Albert D.J. Cashier, alias Jenny Hodges, chose to serve in the war and continued to keep the disguise. It's now a historical memento located at the 4-H Park in Pontiac. This little house can't talk, nor can Jenny Hodges, nor Albert D.J. Cashier. So the story will have to remain an enigma. This is Betty Phillip.
The Cashier Historic Home in Sonneman is still open for tours today. Well, some people prefer an entirely different kind of tourism, the kind that takes them to the area's sunny shores. Clinton Lake attracts tens of thousands of people through the year for swimming, fishing, and hiking. WCIA's George Bryant was there for opening day, 1979.
It was a perfect day to spend Labor Day outdoors. and here at Clinton Lake, more than 4,000 people took advantage of it. Park rangers say about 10,000 paid a visit to the lake this weekend. Some stopped at the visitor center to pick up maps of the lake.
Water ski and fish and boat, except you can't swim right now. Not till the beaches are finished.
While others enjoyed water skiing and fishing, fisherman Darren Yergler had a big day. How many fish did you catch today, Darren?
3.
What kind were they?
Bluegill.
Overall, it was a good holiday weekend on the lake, but there were some problems.
Well, George, the biggest problem we've had has been our litter people that are just throwing things down on the ground and not using the trash containers we've had available for them. Another problem, we've had some small parking problems, depending on the time of day and everything. And another problem we've had is people swimming when there's no swimming allowed in Clinton Lake, and they've been swimming on us. But overall, we've had a good bunch of people and no problems.
George Bryant, Channel 3 News, Clinton.
The state first filled the lake in October 1977, but it was a couple of years before people could get out there. First, the Department of Natural Resources wanted to run tests to make sure that everything was safe. And then second, they wanted to build up the fishing stock in the lake. Well, still to come, a WCIA newsman celebrates 25 years on the air with a special surprise. Plus, crime fighting goes high-tech. We'll have film.
From the Vault, celebrating the stories and people you remember from Central Illinois. Sponsored by Lohman Ray Insurance Group, specialized home, auto, and farm insurance for Central Illinois.
Millions of people tune in every week for crime shows like CSI, where police use high-tech equipment to close cases. While the Springfield Police Department led the way using technology to capture criminals, here's Linda Laird from The Vault, 1979.
The countless filing cabinets filled with criminal history records will now be replaced with a more modernized filing method. It's a mini computer system that can reduce 5,000 criminal reports onto one roll of microfilm and make the information more accessible to officers.
With this new mini computer and the microfilm retrieval, we can now go back into the archives and pull out particular crimes to determine whether or not there are patterns there, to obtain information on modus operandi, how the crimes were committed. It simply takes us a matter of seconds to get the information back out of the computers. To give you an example, a detective last month asked how many crimes had been committed with a switchblade knife. Sergeant Stoudemire, the man who's handling our mini computer, queried the computer and within a matter of seconds told him that there were 17, and within a matter of a few minutes provided that detective with copies of each of those 17 crime reports.
It works like this. Each criminal report is transcribed onto microfilm. After being processed, the information is indexed. This way, officers are able to locate any given criminal report simply by feeding the machine key information, such as the date and crime committed. Seconds later, the entire report can be viewed on the microfilm screen. Officers will now be using the new system on a daily basis. At the Springfield Police Department, this is Linda Laird.
It's not very often anymore when somebody works at a place for 25 years. Veteran newsman Dave Shaw got quite the surprise from Mary Sue Kruger to celebrate his silver anniversary here at the station. Take a look.
Channel 3 News Director Dave Shaw is celebrating a special day this weekend. On Sunday, Dave will have worked at Channel 3 for 25 years, and during that time, he's become a familiar face to the rest of Central Illinois. As part of our anniversary gift to him, Channel 3's John Paul looks at the first 25 years of Dave's life here at Channel 3.
Would you? Good afternoon, I'm Dave Shaw. This is News at Midday.
Hundreds of thousands of Central Illinoisans have heard Dave Shaw say those words for more than 2 decades. He started anchoring the noon news not long after graduating from the U of I. When Dave joined the Channel 3 news staff in June of 1962, there were fewer people working around here. Now, 25 years later, the staff is much bigger. Dave is now news director, taking over when Paul Davis left for Chicago. Dave's that friendly, trusted newsman at noon. He's met hundreds of interesting people, interviewed famous and infamous people. Even his marriage has Channel 3 roots. Dave's wife, Anna Lee, used to be a hostess for a Channel 3 children's program. They met while working here. Dave's a broadcaster through and through. He talked about his job in 1978 on the station's 25th anniversary.
I don't know. I decided so young in life, I can't remember. I was 4 years old when I decided I wanted to get into broadcasting. You think I'm kidding?
Now the Channel 3 News, prepared by Downstate Illinois' largest television news team.
When it comes to election results, Dave Schall's been among the best. He has anchored or co-anchored Channel 3's election coverage for some 20 years.
I'm Paul Davis, along with Dave Schall, Steve Williams. We'll also have a report of news and sports.
It's estimated that cyclists average between 3,000 and 5,000 miles a year on their machines.
Dave's been a reporter, too. Whether it was at the courthouse, at the car accident, or at the nudist colony, Dave told us what really took place.
Among academic people were terms used by the trustees today to describe President Henry. All Burke goes right around him, lays it up. No good. Winners. No good. Winners again. Good.
And for 10 seasons, Dave Schall was the television play-by-play voice of the Fighting Illini basketball team. Teamed with former sports director Dan Roan, they broadcast hundreds of games.
Here we go. 3 seconds. Harper dribbles, shoots long. There it goes. It's good! Illinois wins! Illinois wins!
And there's more news ahead for this Monday afternoon coming up in just a minute.
The news is changing every day, so it's been nice having someone familiar you can turn to. Even if the hairstyle, the glasses, and the color of the tie change, Dave Schall's dedication and devotion to Channel 3 and its hundreds of thousands of Central Illinois viewers has remained constant.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Do you believe that?
I sure do. I was here during most of it myself.
This is also my 22nd wedding anniversary, too, today, so what a day. But I've got to say one thing. It's something to work with the great people we've worked with there. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes that have worked here 25 years and more who don't get the recognition for working that long, so let them join with me in this.
Well said, Dave. Schall worked in broadcasting for more than 55 years in both radio and television until his death in May 2017. Up next, from the vault, one local hairstylist's superhero powers.
The stories and people you remember from Central Illinois. Once again, From the Vault with Matt Metcalf.
Batman was not only a beloved TV show, but became one of the biggest movie releases of the 1980s. The 1989 relaunch of the franchise was huge. Hundreds of people in Central Illinois lined up to get tickets the night the movie premiered. You would see Batman shirts, baseball caps, and even shoes that summer. One Bat fan's obsession, though, was a cut above the rest. Channel 3's Christine Tressel shows us why.
Holy haircut!
I ended up drawing a design and put it in the back of his head, used clippers and some bleach, and ended up with Bat Goo.
For $25, this Central Illinois hairstylist will etch and dye into your head the ultimate Bat Beacon.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed.
Roger, ready to move out.
It's just something new, something for people to look at, and just almost like a trademark. Like,
does Mom know what Junior's doing? Will she now have to start wearing a mask?
I think that it'll grow back before school gets in, and that's my primary concern. So it'll be a nice, cool haircut for the summer.
Of course, the bat do won't do for just anybody.
You have a lot of people looking at him in awe or else in disgust.
Think you'd ever get one?
No,
No, why not?
I'm too young.
Well, I don't, personally, I don't care for it. What do you think?
I think it's cool. It's neat looking.
You think you'd get one?
No, but nice hair though.
Know what you're having for dinner tonight? You might squeal at the deals offered by the IGA.
This week, your IGAs offer Armour Star, ready-to-eat hams at a very economical price. Buy the 1/3 shank portion at your IGA store for just 45 cents a pound, or the full 1/3 butt portion ham at only 55 cents a pound. So you see, IGA's low prices and Armour's famous Star combine to give you a sparkling value. In addition, IGA is featuring fresh dressed hens, average 3.5 to 5 pounds at just 29 cents a pound. Buy more and save more every day at IGA.
Can you believe those prices? Wow, it's fun to look back, isn't it? Well, that'll do it for now from the vault. We leave you with a look at more film from the Chanute Air Force Base back in 1967. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Matt Metcalf. We'll see you next time.